All right, everyone, it's time to talk about the woke right and why it cannot fundamentally exist. It's sort of like left libertarianism. For a while there was an attempt, it's astroturfed, and this one is too. There was an attempt to convince people that there was the possibility of left libertarianism existing. What I pointed out at the time is that leftist economics were fundamentally incompatible with the very concept of liberty in general. That is, if you have a distributionist welfare state, how can that possibly be libertarian? You're going to have to rob a bunch of money from the general public in order to actually create the state. That doesn't sound very libertarian to me. Just saying. The same is true of the woke right. If you have conservative, moralistic policies in mind, it is impossible for you to be woke. Now, some of us don't actually have those conservative policies in mind and still oppose wokeness. I know that I myself do so. I don't oppose woke policies because of any right-leaning tendencies on my behalf. I am not a moralist. I don't care if adult human beings decide to, I don't care if you have an orgy. I do care if you abuse children. And I do care if you are standing for things that would generally defile society. So, for example, third wave feminism or something like that. It would be the same as if somebody were supporting misogyny. Well, let's legitimize misogyny. It's going to be a great time. We're going to enslave women. I wouldn't support that either. I mean, what the fuck are you even talking about, dude? And so these things cannot actually exist. There is no such thing as the woke right. It simply does not exist. It's being astroturfed. Astroturfing is the idea of making something mimetic artificially. That's all they're doing. They did this with left libertarian. They did this with the extremely cringe, by the way, bread tubers and people like that trying to convert people to some retarded ideology that doesn't even make any sense. That's what they're doing right now. So apparently, woke right is the new left libertarian. How wonderful. They're doing it yet again. Not a huge surprise, by the way. Not a huge surprise. In fact, no surprise at all. They've been doing this for decades, actually. The idea is to create an ideology that serves the system and pacifies people, makes them think that they're revolutionaries. They think that they're fighting the system. They think that they're clashing back against the man. Really, all they're doing is making more money for them. That's the whole goddamn point. It has been the point this entire time. Even ideologies that are sensible on paper sometimes are astroturf for this reason. But when you have an ideology that is self-evidently incompatible with itself, when it is completely contradictory, as this particular ideology is, the woke right, left libertarians, when you have something like that, not only was it astroturfed, it was astroturfed by morons. Honestly, it's impossible for these ideologies even to exist. You cannot be economically leftist and be a libertarian. It is not physically possible. It's not physically possible because you have to effectively rob people to fund the leftoidism that you're engaged in. That's not libertarianism. It makes absolutely no sense. It is impossible to be a woke right-winger because wokeness is number one. Well, I suppose the weakness, yeah, that would be a right-wing tendency. So I'll give them a pass on that. But wokeness relies upon a form of idpol that is incompatible, generally speaking, with conservative moral ideology. It's simply not possible for these two things to coexist at the same time. And this has happened over and over and over. And whenever it happens, whenever you have some sort of, especially linguistically, contradictory system, you can be assured that somebody with a lot of money is forcing it down your throat. They're doing that for a reason. They're not doing that to help you. They're doing it to take your money. Happens over and over again, thousands and thousands of times within human history. The United States is not the only culture that has suffered under uh, the uh, the basic premise. It's basically nothing more than Soviet propaganda. It's basically like Soviet times or like communist China or something like that or Nazi Germany. The same thing happens over and over. You create a new definition and then you try to group people into it in hopes of getting elected or selected in most cases, and then controlling their minds, literally brainwashing them. It's people don't even realize that they're being brainwashed. They're being propagandized to 24/7. You look at corporate ads. Like I was using the phone earlier, which I generally don't do unless I have to. Normally I use my laptop because I've got ad blocking software on it. I was using my phone, and of course there are ads when I go to YouTube and stuff like that. And I was surprised to see all the bright colors, all of the wonderful sloganeering. I was surprised at how effective they were actually with regards to selling things to people. Just the other day, I won't name the individual, a younger individual, child, um, that I'm associated with, was literally reciting the lines to one of the songs from one of the ads because it plays so prevalently. It sticks in your head. This is a bad thing, by the way. It shouldn't be happening. What we should be doing is fucking cracking down on it. Instead, it's promoted by the government. Now, there is no such thing as the woke right. It does not exist. There is no such thing as a left libertarian. They do not exist. It is not possible for it to exist. I would challenge anyone who considers themselves to be a left libertarian, for example, to debate me on the topic. You will get completely destroyed because, sorry, but leftist economics and liberty do not go hand in hand. Oh, they go hand in hand if they're slapping one another, I suppose. That's basically the point. That's about all. Peace out.